It's a hero-based RTS-ish with tactical turn-based combat and 4X elements wrapped in a fantasy theme. Does it make sense yet? Watch on and find out. My name is Thoraxe, and this is Strategy for Busy People. If you've got a few minutes, I'll tell you what to play. Note, I get a lot of review requests, and this episode involves another one. The studio for this game reached out asking for my opinion, and they're going to get it, like it or not. 4X games have had a mixed run on this channel, but I decided to take a look at Atre Dominance Wars by Ironward anyway. I put almost 2.5 hours into this title. Now, while it's self-billed as a 4X, the non-story mode takes place at a real-time level and is decidedly not turn-based. I'm not entirely convinced that you can call a not turn-based top layer a 4X game unless you're trying to compare yourself to Sins of a Solar Empire, which I also reviewed, which self-bills as more of an R4X, but at least Atre also has pause, so there's that. I'll start with the story mode because, honestly, for these types of real-time strategy games, I actually prefer to play a campaign and get the strategy layer in drips and drabs. The demo gives you the first 2 missions in the story, but I gotta say, it probably left me more confused than anything else. It did offer a good glimpse at some of the mechanics, including the turn-based combat, but we'll get to that more here momentarily. It also does a so-so job of introducing you to the world and some of the things going on in it, but I think maybe it could still use some work to help figure it out. There is definitely a fun hero-based thing going on here, and the combinations of different units and the turn-based tactical battles are interesting. If I had a critique about the turn-based tactical battles, it would be that they're somewhat mechanically shallow. There is an initiative smelling turn order of the units, and based on certain unit abilities, you might get some pre-combat engagement options, but fundamentally, you're just kind of attacking and being attacked. There doesn't appear to be any ability to reorder or move your units during the combat sequences, as opposed to something like Mind Over Magic, where position is really important. As an example, it seems like your melee units can pretty much attack anyone in the front line, and your ranged units can pretty much attack anyone anywhere. You have the ability to cast offensive and defensive spells in addition to the regular unit combat, but there's this mechanic of having to pre-arm those spells at the strategic top layer before entering into combat, which is a bit frustrating, and I didn't see a way to view which spells were pre-armed or how to change that up. So, story mode introduces you to some mechanics, mostly just okay so far. Let's pivot to the 4X mode. This is where things get extra confusing. Like many of these kinds of games, you can set up a basic play against other AI players and maybe against other humans too, but there's only a random map right now, which is fine. When the game starts, you're given a little hand-holding, but honestly, it's nowhere near enough right now. Look, I understand that tutorials are hard, but there basically isn't one right now, so you'll have to appreciate that the game will have one eventually, and you'll just have to stumble through learning all the mechanics of this mode. Like many of these kinds of games, you have a couple of different win modes, score lots of points, vanquish the enemy, blah blah blah. Here's what I can tell you that I managed to figure out. You take over different areas, and those areas start paying tribute in the form of raising troops. The troops raised are of the core type of whatever the species, race, whatever you call it is, so your human settlements will raise human units every day. Those settlements can have one or more outposts, which you can also upgrade, and those upgrades cause them to grow more units, more population, but I don't know what that's useful for, raise more mana, or do some protective stuff. So, mana is really, really important in the game. It's used for the vast majority of actions, like improving your settlements, raising units, casting spells. It's basically everything. So improving your settlements to raise mana is important. But troops are also important. And you don't start out with very many, and the different settlements around you are pretty powerful compared to your starting situation. You can actually pay mana to raise troops suddenly, but this causes some unrest in your settlements, which, unsurprisingly, might cause them to abandon supporting you. And then you have to send your avatar back to the area to build up support again, which I think is based on the charisma skill of the avatar? There are quite a few skills for the avatar, and they look like they are mostly self-explanatory, but it's also not entirely clear what to focus on, since it seems like you only have 2 avatars for quite a while. The avatars are leading your armies, somewhat obviously, but in contrast to the story mode, where you end up with a bunch of different units in your armed forces, at least in the early game, you only seem to stack your regular units super deep. Can I really have 600 plus fighters in a single unit? What are they called? I don't know. Anyway, in this random smattering of mechanics I'm giving to you, you might be wondering why this review is so discombobulated. And again, it's because I was just stumbling around trying to figure everything out. Hey, before I give my final verdict, if this is your first episode, this one's free. But if you've watched me before, we're going to make an agreement. You help me level up by clicking subscribe, and I'll keep making these videos. I'll spend the time playing the games and making content that I hope you'll like, and you'll return the favor, okay? Leave comments, tell me what you think. It's all good. You just agree to engage. That's all I ask. The final verdict. Here's the thing. You've watched this review for this long, and you probably don't understand what's going on. And, to be honest, I didn't really understand what was going on either. But the thing is, for some reason, I wanted to keep trying to play it to figure out just what the heck was going on. Wait, what is a good opening strategy? How quickly can I take some of the surrounding settlements? What is a good combination of avatar types to start with? Just when will I get more unit types to deploy? As the game ages and more people play it, even if they didn't make their own tutorial, I bet enough information would surface on wikis, YouTube videos, and other places that you could probably figure it out by watching someone else's tutorials. Is that really all that bad? On my trademark 3-point score scale of avoid, meh, and I forgot to eat, there was pretty much nothing even remotely food-like in this game. And while you might be assuming that this meandering mess of a confused review was for sure going to score this game in a void, it's actually a meh, just barely under a top score, for the primary reason that I was so curious about the 4X mode that I kept coming back. With some more information about how to play and the ability to save the game while playing the 4X mode, I could see sinking a really disturbing number of hours into this game. So be prepared to be frustrated, but give the demo a try. Maybe you too will pack your things and head for lands that won't randomly explode behind you, leaving a steaming, glowing mess. But there's something to be said for always moving forward and not looking back. And no, I really don't have a food joke to make at the end of this one, sorry.